Welcome to all the students of SYBCom. I, Pooja Singh, will be teaching you the subject Elements of Company Law for Semester 4. Today we will first see the syllabus of your subject, and before beginning the syllabus of the subject, let us first see the objectives of the course, that why it has been introduced to the BCom students, specifically to the second year students. So let us begin with the objectives of the course. The first objective is to develop general awareness among the students about management of company, that how the management of company is being constituted, and to know about that this subject has been introduced. The next objective is to have a comprehensive understanding about the key managerial personnel of company and their role in company administration. Who are those key managerial personnel and what are their role in the company administration, we will see in this subject. The next comes to acquaint the students about e-governance and e-filing under the Companies Act 2013, which has been introduced. After that comes to equip the students about the various meetings of companies and their importance. What are the various meetings of the companies which are undertook in the companies, and what are their importance? Why those meetings are being conducted in the business? Then next comes to make students capable of becoming good human resource of the corporate sectors. So these are the objectives of the course, that why the elements of company law 2 has been introduced in your curriculum. Now next comes the syllabus of the elements of company law. In this first comes the management of company. The unit 1 is your management of company. In this first we will see the board of directors. In this it comprises of the definition, powers, restrictions and provision on board. After that we will see director, and in that we will see the meaning and legal position of directors, types of directors, then comes related party transaction. After that comes your appointment of directors, qualification and disqualifications of it, then powers, duties, liabilities of directors, loans to directors, remuneration of directors. So this whole thing comprises of the directors qualification, disqualification, powers, duties, liabilities. Everything we will see in the management of company. Next comes key managerial person. Who are the key managerial personnel? And they are the people who are responsible for the company administration. In this first we will see the meaning, definition and appointments of managing director, whole-time director and manager. After that comes your company secretary, term of office, tenure of appointment, role of company secretary. So this we will see the tenure of appointment, that is the term of office of a company secretary, and what is the role of company secretary in the company's administration. Next comes distinction between managing director, manager and whole-time director, and what are their roles, powers and functions. This all we will see in this third point of the second unit. After that we will see corporate social responsibility, which is very necessary in today's business world. What is this, and which are the companies which are responsible to do the corporate social responsibility. So this will we see. Under that we will see the CSR committee and activities under CSR. What are the activities which are classified as corporate social responsibility? So these were the unit 1 and unit 2. Next comes your unit 3, which is based on company meetings. In this we will first see the board meetings, meaning and kinds. What is board meeting and its kinds? In that we will see the conduct of meetings, that is formalities of valid meeting, which comprises of provisions regarding agenda, notice, quorum, proxies, voting, resolutions, then minutes of the meeting, then filing of resolutions, virtual meeting, so etc. We will see under the subheading of conduct of meetings. Next comes meeting of shareholders, general body meetings, types of meetings. In types of meetings, first we will see the annual general meeting, that is AGM. Then comes your extraordinary general meeting, which is explained in section 100 of the Companies Act 2013. Then comes provisions regarding conveying constitution, conducting of general meetings, contained section 101 to 114. So basically this unit belongs to the meetings and the kinds of meetings and what are the meetings are undertaken in a company. We will see in this third unit of company meetings. Next comes e-governance and winding up company. This is the fourth unit and the last unit of the semester 4 of Elements of Company Law 2, which comprises of first e-governance. What does e-governance means and what is the importance of e-governance in today's business world? Then comes e-filing, the basic concept of MCA and e-filing we will see in this. Then comes your winding up, meaning of winding up, dissolution of company, then conceptual understanding of winding up by the tribunal we will see in this. So winding up, what is winding up? What is meaning of winding up? And what is the difference between the winding up and the dissolution of a company? We will see in this third sub heading of the e-governance and winding up company. Then last comes your compulsory winding up, members voluntary winding up, creditors voluntary winding up. There are three ways through which a company can be wind up. That is, the first one is your compulsory winding up, then comes your members voluntary winding up, then comes creditors voluntary winding up. So these are the three ways through which a company can be brought to end. As you know, a company is an artificial person and it has been created by the law, so it can be wound up by the act of law only. So this we will see in the fourth unit, that is e-governance and winding up of company. So in the next lecture we will see the fourth chapter, that is e-governance and the winding up of company. Till then, thank you.